Been cloudy all day. So the sun just now popped up, but you can still see there's significant clouds. So I'm heading down here. I wanted to show you this weed eater. I talked to you about it several times. It's a weed eater brand weed trimmer. It's one of the originals, I guess. I don't even know if they sell these anymore. I really don't. I had one of these years ago, back in 2001. It ran for 10 years. Never failed. I actually bought a second one just as a backup. Never used it. Well, I mean, I guess I did use it, but not as full time or anything. So this weed eater, well, I'll just take you up there and show you. A guy gave me a bunch of weed eaters. I said, I guess he buys them like once a year, and next year they don't run, so he just goes buys another one. That's kind of junky up here, but he probably gave me, I don't know, 10 weed eaters. Didn't know where to put them, but like I said, it's going to be junky up here, and I'm sure the trolls are going to love it. So we got 3 here, a couple few over here. So I told you a while back that I had a still weed eater, and it oh, plus this one. So somebody brought in a still weed eater and needed a new throttle cable. So I ordered a throttle cable, and they sent me the wrong one. I confirmed it. I had the right part number, but it was much longer and wouldn't fit. So I took it back and ordered another one from a different company, and they did the same thing. Well, as I was waiting for the second one, I thought, well, I need to get this weed eater running for my customer, so I just took it from mine. It was the same weed eater. Well, it turns out they don't sell that cable anymore. So now I got to wait around until somebody junks a weed eater like that one, and I can take the cable off of it. So I'd do something for a weed eater. Carolyn says, well, see if one of these run. So I grabbed a couple of them, took the best looking one, and all of them had a head on it with full of string. So I've got several heads are full of string. This one came with an extra head here. I don't know why, but it is. It doesn't have string on it. So for 18 bucks, I got this thing running. So let's see if we can get this thing started. I know everybody likes being a man and holding it when they start it, but I like doing it right. Okay, so I fixed that for $18. New carburetor, put in some new hoses, and of course it came as a kit. So I got new hose, new carburetor, new priming bulb, new spark plug, new air filter. So all that was new. New fuel filter for $18, and it runs great. I weed eated the ditch yesterday. Weed eated around the solar panels in this shed, and it runs perfectly. So I'm thinking, man, I just saved a bunch of money if you really think about it, because I was thinking about going out and maybe buying another used still that wasn't running as cheap as I possibly could, which probably would have been 50 bucks off Facebook Marketplace, and rip one of them apart, either mine or the one that I buy, and put them together and get one working weed eater. But with this, $18, I just saved myself 30 bucks, 32 bucks. So it's a real bargain. And that's kind of what I don't understand is, I keep telling you, I've been monitoring this Facebook group about lawnmower repair or small engine repair. And I don't understand any of them. 90% of them don't know how to fix a thing. Just read one today. Said, I got a customer that has a mower that's hard to start. He brings it to me and says he's already replaced the starter. So I'm thinking I better check the valves and I better check the compression relief. And then I thought, well, it's got to be taking electric from somewhere. So I checked for grounds everywhere, couldn't find anything. And then I looked at the starter. I took the starter off and it was only pulling 25 amps. That's not bad. But when you put it back onto the mower, it was pulling 125 amps. What's going on? So I did some research and found out that the customer put the wrong size starter on it. He put a 14-tooth starter on it, not a 16-tooth starter on it. So it was kind of binding up, which it may have been binding up, but more likely you weren't getting the torque out of it that you needed. You didn't have enough teeth. So it needed more energy to get more torque. I mean, that's just the way it works. Torque and horsepower, they work together. Sometimes they can work against each other, but they work together. So several people in the comment section was like, I can't believe you work on lawnmowers. That's your job? That should have been the first thing you checked. Which is what I said in my head. Well, why didn't you check the starter? That should have been the first thing you checked. You're checking all the electrical system, you're checking valves and all that, which is fine. I mean, checking valves is a good maintenance item anyways, but if you know, then I went further in my head and said, if you know that the customer's already replaced the starter, why are you trusting the customer? I just got a guy in yet today, and this happens all the time. I mean, probably every time I get a phone call, somebody says something to this effect. So I worked on a lawnmower a few weeks ago, maybe a week ago, push mower, and it had bad gas in it. So I drained the gas, cleaned the carburetor, put it back together, started up, ran fine. Guy calls me today. Now remember, today's Sunday. I don't get this. Why is everybody calling me Sunday? Where are you? Well, I'm at the grocery store. You know, I take one day a week off so I can go to the grocery store. Oh, okay, well, I got this mower here. I said, well, but I'm not there. He says, I know, I can see that. I'm parked in your driveway. Oh. So anyway, he says, I got this mower here that you worked on last week, and it ran half a day just fine. And then I stopped it for a minute, and it wouldn't start back up. Okay. Sounds like that might be an ignition coil. I'm not sure. And he says, the gas is only 2 months old, so it can't be bad gas. Okay, so I say, just put it down off the truck and put it over by the John Deere. And so he did. So I got back from the store and I siphoned the gas out of it. And it was just as yellow, urine yellow as it could be. I mean, it was dark urine yellow. It was terrible. So what he meant to say, apparently, is the gas was 1 year and 2 months old, because I don't think gas can go that bad in 2 months unless it's literally being left out in the rain, which is possible. So I get that all the time. So this guy with the starter is like, no, well, the customer must have put the right starter on it. No, you never trust what the customer did. If they tell you you've done something, the easiest diagnostic ever is listen to the customer tell you what they've changed, because you can be sure that they've done it wrong. That's why they're bringing it to you. It was broke when they started working on it. So anyway, back to the Facebook group. So as soon as I got this one done, the same day, someone posted, hey, I got this Weed Eater brand, same thing. I mean, it was identical to this one, identical. Everything was the same. Couldn't read the numbers, but I bet they were the same numbers. So, and it won't start. And he said, what should I check for first? And that's a pretty standard question for the guys who've never worked on a lawn or a small engine on that group. And I'm ready to, spout out, well, you put some starting fluid in it and see if it'll fire off. If it fires off, well, then you got a fuel problem. It's easier to just replace it with a carburetor. It's going to cost $18, and that's all what I'm saying in my head. I don't type in there anymore because there are so many trolls that I don't feel like being trolled on my channel and on Facebook, so I stopped doing that. So I go to the comment section, I'm reading to see how many people say, hey, just check the fuel system, maybe replace the carburetor. Remember, 18 bucks. That's a piece of garbage. Don't invest any money into that. That's a useless thing to do. You need to go buy yourself a Still, or go buy yourself a, and Echo, and they're just naming off all these high price weed eaters. I'm like, just throw that away. So I'm like, well, wait a minute. You're wanting this guy to buy a weed eater. It's going to cost $200-300 instead of just going out and buying an $18 carburetor and putting it on his weed eater brand weed eater trimmer. I don't understand the logic. $18. Even if you had to put labor into it, which I'm not too sure you'd want to, but if you could find somebody who does it for 40 bucks or so, maybe that wouldn't be too bad. 50 bucks, you're still saving some money, as long as you know it's a good weed eater. So I would have told the guy, get yourself an $18 carburetor. It's a great little weed eater, and it runs great. So I don't understand people. Everybody's wanting to throw everything away. That's not being a mechanic. I understand that sometimes it's not worth fixing. You don't want to just waste your customers' money. But if you're going to repair it yourself, it's not likely you're going to waste a bunch of money putting an aftermarket. And that's another thing I just can't get over. You don't use aftermarket China. No, don't use it. No, that's your problem. No, that's it. Most everything I use is aftermarket. I like HIPAA, H-I-P-A. They work great. But and there's a couple of these YouTubers starting to come around to HIPAA, but of course they're selling it. I've even gotten a email from HIPAA, and I intend to sell a HIPAA carburetor one of these days for them. And it's not going to pay me any money. They're just going to give me a carburetor. So, and that'll make me more money if you really think about it. The company gives me a carburetor. I put it on a customer's weed eater. Then I can charge for the carburetor and the labor, and so it's all 100% profit. That'd be great. All I got to do is make a YouTube video for it. I think that's pretty good. I guess it's a long way around of HIPAA paying me money, but it still works. But I guess, first of all, I would imagine the carburetor that I bought for this is OEM, original equipment manufacturer, and it was $18. I don't know who makes this, but I'm sure it's not a name brand weed eater. I don't know who makes it, but I'm sure it just doesn't cost much for the OEM versus the aftermarket. But regardless, I don't understand why you wouldn't the Still chainsaw. Not the Still chainsaw. That was the incorrect thing to say. The Still weed eater. I just put a carburetor on it too. Bought it for $50. Put another $20 carburetor on it, aftermarket. Now, it still runs, other than I took the cable off of it. So $70, and I got basically a brand new weed eater. Runs great. The chainsaw. Now, I was experimenting with the chainsaw. Somebody gave me a junk chainsaw. It didn't work. Still chainsaw. I bought a new engine for it. I think that was, I don't know, 50, 60 bucks. And put it in there, and it runs great. I had some problems getting a good engine. I had to keep returning the engines, but once I found a good engine, then like I said, I was experimenting and learning on how to rebuild the engine on a chainsaw. So I wasted a little bit of money on it for the education, but if I know how to do it now, it's no longer an education. I could do that all day long. Grab old chainsaws, buy a new engine, put it on there. Aftermarket engine. So, I just don't understand people. People criticize my lifestyle, but I genuinely can tell you I am happier than I've ever been. I've made tons of money in my life. I've had the nicest things in my life. And I was always stressed, always unhappy. It was just a difficult life. But now I don't have anything. I've got a good insurance, you know, emergency fund in case something happens, like car breaks down or something. And then I'm just as happy as possibly can be with nothing. No, I don't have anything. Got a postage stamp piece of property, 1.5 acres with a well that barely works, a house that is just smaller than a garage, a camper that is used for storage, and a 10-year-old truck. So I don't know, I struggle with that. Gotta have the best. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to a video on my other channel. It'll be a brand new video today, so I hope I can inspire you to be happy without it, so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.